สวัสดีนะคะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Okay, good morning everyone from oh sorry ค่ะ from Stockholm from the Nordic นะคะ warm welcome today to the webinar Cultivating Sustainability Tackling Emissions from Agriculture and today I am Nun Surachana Phakawali-Thorn ค่ะ
ค่ะ and I'm Pear ธัญพร วงศ์ทิติโรจน์ค่ะ
We are from Thailand Nordic Countries Innovation Unit under the Royal Thai Embassy in 4 Nordic countries. And today we will be your host for the session.
ค่ะ This week, TNIU is celebrating our 1-year anniversary of the unit by organizing the TNIU Week in collaboration between our 4 Thai embassies in the Nordic countries. Each session will highlight the outstanding innovation aspects from each country while connecting with the sustainability challenges in Thailand. And today is the third day of our event, focusing on Denmark. So please stay tuned for the next upcoming session.
Okay. And today's topics we are introduced by the Royal Thai Embassies in Denmark that we see that this is a very strong and common agenda between Thailand and Denmark, that by 2050 the global population will rising to around 10 billion people and the demand for food products will rise tremendously. So given the vital role of agriculture in both countries, the challenge is how might we increase the food production while decrease the emissions and PM 2.5 or negative impact from agriculture industry. And today we are honored to feature our two distinguished speakers. Nong Pear can introduce.
Okay, so first we have Mr. Niels Peter Nøring. He's a Climate Director, Department of Climate and EU Affairs, Danish Agriculture and Food Council. So please warm welcome, Mr. Niels. Can we see Mr. Niels on screen now?
Yes, just 1 minute.
Yes, okay. Hi, Mr. Niels. Yes, and on the Thai side, we also have Mr. Seksan Papong. He's a research specialist, Technology and Informatics Institute for Sustainability, National Science and Technology Development Agency. So please welcome Mr. Seksan Papong ka.
Oh, sorry, we don't have the clap. But yeah, so thank you very much for your time and joining us today for the webinars. We are very, very honored to have both of you, and also thank you to the Royal Thai Embassies in Denmark. For now, maybe we could start with the presentation that you both about the. Oh, sorry, Mr. Niels is somehow gone from the screen, but maybe we could start from Mr. Seksan as well. I think Mr. New will come back and joining us, but Mr. Seksan also have some presentations on the both of you prepare like to talk about the situation of this problem and the solutions, interesting innovative solutions in both of our countries and how we will proceed in order to reach the climate goal that we both countries set out. So I think maybe since Mr. New is already back, we can also start from you on the presentation as well, since you're the guest to our Thai embassy. So you could share the presentation and let's hear what Denmark is progressing towards on this.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I will try to give you an overview of how we in Denmark and the Danish Agriculture and Food Council are working with tackling emissions from agriculture. I will start with a very important statement. climate is a global challenge, but not the only global challenge we are facing. I want to give you 5 figures. Some of you perhaps already know what they are telling, but still I want to go through them. 1.5, that's the maximum increase in temperature in the Paris Agreement. 40, we already heard it today in the introduction. That's the increase in demand for food we will see in 2050. 800, that's 800 million. 800 million people on the globe are going to bed every day hungry. 30, that's just to underline that when we look at climate, agriculture is very important because 30% of the global emissions are from agriculture. And then the 0, it indicates that we cannot include more agricultural land in the future globally. So the whole agricultural sector in the whole world, we must produce more with lower emissions. This spring, in May, we, the Danish Agriculture and Food Council, presented a plan towards 2030. We have a national target for agriculture. The agricultural sector in Denmark has to meet a national and binding goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions with 50 to 65% by 2030 compared to emissions in 1990. And we, the agricultural sector, we have stated clearly that we can and we will fulfill the goal, not by stopping producing food, but using new technologies. We have been working on this challenge several years. We were the first business organization with a clear vision to be climate neutral in 2050. And that's with the same or even a higher level of production. As already mentioned, we must create the food sector of tomorrow, a food sector producing more than today because the demand is increasing. Here are some examples. I'm sorry about that it's not translated. First is we see an increase just to 2030, 10 years, in wheat. The next one is rice. Then we have beef, pork, chicken, dairy, and so on. So there's an increase in the coming years for food. Have we already done something in the Danish agriculture? Yes. Since 1990, we have been increasing production by 28%, and at the same time, we have reduced the emissions of climate gases with 25. So when we look at the goal for 2030, and decrease by 55 to 65%, we are still far from goal. Some are talking about the solution in Denmark with just exporting Danish CO2 emissions and production to other countries in order to escape the problems here in Denmark and telling that we solved the whole thing. But that's not the right solution. And we have a clear ambition of managing and reducing or emissions with or production in Denmark. And here it's very important to state that technology must lead the way. We have shown that we can, in fact, reduce to the goals in 2030. It's with set aside of land, the peatlands, using feed additives, doing more in the nitrogen area, using pyrolysis, using more climate optimized fertilizer, looking at new stables, using nitrification inhibitors, and a lot of other things. So we will be able to reduce our emissions. I mentioned the carbon-rich soils. We are thinking of taking 100,000 hectares out of production and re-wetting them. We are looking at pyrolysis. I come back to that. And we're looking at how can we use additives in the feed to the cows. Just an example. We know, all of us here today, that when we go out to the fields during the summer, the plants, they capture a lot of CO2. But the CO2 will be emitted again after a short while, when we consume it, or the animal consume it, or we burn it, or what we do. So the CO2 will go around. But if we capture it in the grain and we use the straw to put into pyrolysis, we get out three fractions: gas, bio oil, and biochar. And if we divide it to 50% to energy, 50% to biochar, we in fact reduce the climate impact of agriculture with 50%. So every time we take 1 kilogram of CO2 down, half kilogram will be stored in the soils for hundreds of years. And in this way, we can in fact use the energy for producing climate-friendly jet fuel. And every time we jump into the plane, we do something good for the environment and for the climate. We also have a lot of examples what we're doing in the field of dairy production, feed additives, specific fats. We do a lot in the stables and with the manure. And then we also improve genetics. And we, for example, for many years ago, exported the red cow to Thailand. And just these days, they are again having meetings about how can we help the Thai dairy production to be more efficient and more climate friendly. Don't want to go through all the different things, but we have the nitrification inhibitors. We can optimize the use of fertilizer. We can grow grass for grass protein. The organic farm is also a part of it. And climate optimized feed. But we do more than just produce food and reduce emissions. We also have a lot of manure going to biogas, a lot of straw going to the energy sector. And then we have space for wind and solar energy. We have the global solutions. Just let me mention once again the genetics. We also have hardware as FOSS. And these things shows that we can do a lot. Just 3 companies, with these 3 companies, we reduce the global emissions by 2.8 million tons. Then we also have international agricultural cooperation. We have something going on in Nigeria, and we're working on a big project together with Finland and the Netherlands with a Green Climate Fund project in Kenya. which will reduce the global emissions by 5 million tons. We're also working with biosolutions. So there's a lot of things we're working with. The road to achieve reductions, we have to look at new measures, and the new measures must be implemented by the farmer so they make a difference in practice. Other industries must make follow-up investments so that value chains for raw material and energy flows are developed in favor of climate. There must be funds for research, etc. And then the state must remove a lot of barriers. There must be a proper regulatory framework, and there must be efficient incentive structures. We welcome partnerships because we are a small country, Denmark, but we have some of the technologies, and we will develop some of the technologies for tomorrow. And we can export these technologies. We can export this know-how to the world, and in this way, we're a small country, but we can do a big difference. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Niels. Yeah, it's true that technology leads the way, and really impressed with how Denmark is moving forward to innovation approach right now. And we will go through the discussion later on. But for now, we would like to also give a floor to Mr. Seksan as well to present a little bit about how is Thailand's situation and about your organization, your work as well. Yes, please, Mr. Seksan, please introduce.
Okay, thank you very much for your introduce myself. For myself, I would like to introduce my organization. Now we are working on National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NASDA. Or NASDA under the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation. The NASDA consists of 5 research pillars that include the Biotech National Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. The second is the National Electronic and Computer Center, and then is the National Metal and Material Technology Center, and then is the Nanotechnology Center, and then is the National Energy Technology Center. For myself, in work in the Technology and Informatics Institute for Sustainability, or TIIS, is under the MTech National Metal and Material Technology Center. The activity of myself, we have the 2 team for the study. The first one is the develop the LCI. LCI is mean life cycle inventory database and life cycle impact assessment method and informatics for sustainable development. The first theme of our research activity. The second is the application of the science, technology, and innovation for sustainability. For our group, we have 17 staff and 9 temporary staff. We work on the 10-year framework of UNEP. We have the study on the sustainable food system. We are focused on the palm oil, maize, sugarcane, cassava, and rice, paddy rice, and rubber. And also we have the study in another team for the sustainable lifestyle, sustainable building, and also consumer information such as the eco-labeling, the environmental labeling. For the main activity, now we develop the National Life Cycle Inventory database for sustainable development. We have many databases in Thailand. This database can be application for the carbon footprint labeling, for the water footprint labeling, for the greenhouse gas reduction guideline, for the environmental footprint of the product, and then the food waste application, and we can support the green procurement in the Thailand. Actually, for the agriculture database, we have more than 100 database on agriculture product. For example, we have database on greenhouse gas emission per products of the agriculture, for cassava, for the sugarcane, for the palm oil, for example. And the concept we use for our study in TIIS, we use the life cycle thinking concept to the study. We consider the impact from raw material, from the production and distribution and the product use and the end of life. The all life stage is the impact on the environment. We try to identify the hotspot for the improve the products to environmental friendly product along with supply chain. I would like to introduce the case study of our activity in TIIS. The case study one in the application on the science, technology, and innovation to support the sustainable fuels along with supply chain. In this study, we focus on the biofuel, bioethanol, biodiesel for our study. Example in this slide either show in the sustainability criteria of the bioethanol from the cassava and bioethanol from sugarcane. We have the inventory data on the greenhouse gas emission per megajoule of the fuels. And then we case study on the greenhouse gas emission factor for technical support in the eco-labeling in Thailand and eco-product directory include the agri-food products. In this factor, we support the Thailand Greenhouse Gas Management Organization to develop the carbon footprint labeling in Thailand. This project start from 2009. And then we support the Thailand Eco Product Directory. Actually, the carbon footprint implement in the world, Thailand is the number one in the ASEAN country have developed the carbon footprint labeling. And now we have many carbon footprint products in our country. It shows the example of the carbon footprint products in Thailand. We have more than 300 companies register the carbon footprint, around 3,300 products in the registered the carbon footprint of product in the Thailand. In addition, we have the promote the carbon footprint reduction in the Thailand. Now we have around 70 company and 400 products in register in the carbon footprint reduction. And then in Thailand have the around 27 company and 130 products who register the products on the carbon footprint of the circular economy products. And then we have the carbon footprint of organization. Now in Thailand have around 400 companies register in the carbon footprint of the organization in Thailand. In addition, we have the support in the science, technology, and innovation to the support the national indicator baseline for Thailand for SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 12.2 and 8.4 and 9.4. In this aspect, we developed the domestic material consumption and material footprint for the national report to the UNEP. In addition, we have developed the sustainable data on the sustainable agriculture. We have the exhibited data on the sustainable agriculture, cassava, palm oil, sugarcane, maize, and rubber. We focus on the many standards, the RSPO, brown sugar, GBEP, and SAFA to develop the inventory data and the sustainability data for agriculture in Thailand. Next, I would like to introduce the situation of the greenhouse gas issue in the Thailand. In the Thailand now, we have the area around half in the agricultural area in the Thailand. All of them in the agriculture area, around half in the rice fields. The rice field have the many greenhouse gas emission almost in the agriculture. In this part, the data on 2002, you can see this the bar chart. Bar chart is the show the greenhouse gas emission from all sector in Thailand from 2015 to 2026. The greenhouse gas emission from agriculture accounting around 20% compared to total greenhouse gas emission in the Thailand. In this amount, the paddy field had accounting around 50% of the greenhouse gas emission of the agriculture sector. We focus on agriculture sector. We need to show that in the methane emission is the main effect from the greenhouse gas emission from agriculture. The methane, mainly come from the light cultivation. The second part in the methane from fermentation in the animal, and some part in the manure management, and some parts in the nitrogen dioxide from management of soil. What should we do? Why must the agriculture and livestock sector adapt to cope with the global warming? Now, law and regulation on the CBAM of EU, carbon border tax of USA, farm to fork strategy of EU, and eco-score from France and Germany. They are the effect on the agriculture and livestock sector in the Thailand. And actually, the impact of climate change, impact on the negative impact on the farmer and the related business throughout the supply chain. The rice have the negative impact in the yield in the reduction compared to current situation. For and sugarcane, the yield in the next in the reduce around 30% compared to current situation. In the effect on the climate change in agriculture sector in the Thailand. Now in Thailand have the long-term greenhouse gas emission development strategy. We had a set up to reduce greenhouse gas emission and set up the carbon neutrality in 2050 and net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2065. Okay, slide. In the last, the net zero greenhouse gas emission for agriculture sector, we have the many alternatives to improve the performance of the agriculture sector. The first one is the improve light cultivation practice. The second one is the dome digester for the livestock. In this part of the improved light cultivation practice, we will start from 2025, and then we'll achieve the Thailand net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2065. Actually, to reduce greenhouse gas emission in agriculture sector did play key of role of food security and sustainable development. And most cost-effective option to reduce greenhouse gas emission in agriculture in Thailand. The first one is the farmland management, and the second one in the restoration of the organic soil, increase the carbon storage in the soil. Okay. For the next step for collaboration in Thailand, we need to innovation, science and technology for the support the greenhouse gas reduction and greenhouse gas mitigation in the Thailand, and capacity building for the Thailand for the human resource or the technology transfer for improve the greenhouse gas emission and reduce greenhouse gas, and also thank you for I introduce our activity and some problem in the greenhouse gas in agriculture. Okay, I finish the part.
Okay, thank you very much, Ka, on both of your presentation. It's very impressive from Mr. New. I also grew up with this Thai Denmark red milk, and from Mr. Seksan. it's a good complementary that Mr. Neil's giving big pictures on the policy side, since you are working in the policies, and Mr. Seksan is the researcher. So we see the technical part and data development in Thailand. And it's really important to know that we have a lot of this backup data development, since I think we can't tackle what we can't measure. So it's a very complementing presentations. And the next step, we will go through some panel discussions of maybe we can start with, I also wonder to hear a little bit more from Mr. Neil, that you were saying that about the goal and the innovative technology in Denmark, not only in Denmark but global, and also you work a lot in EU. I would like to hear if there is any policies or something that Danish government is doing currently or in EU that is very effective, or you see that it's really important to be done in order to get to your goal in 2050. Yeah.
Yes, I'll try to be brief. We have some regulations on EU level. We have regulations which are 100% national. So we have in Denmark a national goal for the whole society to reduce the greenhouse gases by 70% by 2030 compared with 1990. And then we have a special target for the agricultural sector, as I mentioned, which is lower. But all of us here today know that it's more difficult to stop emissions from a cow or a rice paddy or a wheat field because there's some emissions, and there will also in the future be emissions. So therefore we have a lower target for the agriculture. But at the same time, we have pressure from the EU. The EU, they have their Fit for 55. We have to reduce by 55% in 2030. There's a lot of industry which has a quota system, which is the quotas are being decreased every year. So in that way, all this industry in Europe will compete over the borders, and they will achieve the target in 2030. But then there's three sectors: transport, housing, small industry, and agriculture. These three sectors have a specific system, and this system is targeting for Denmark to reduce our emissions in these three sectors by 50%. So there's pressure coming from EU, but also the national. And in Denmark, we are in the sector working with a lot of different things, a lot of the new technologies, also like Seksan mentioned, with technology, it's not just things we can take and use tomorrow. Some of them will take years before they are ready. And when they are new, they also cost a lot. So therefore, the farmers will not just take new technologies into use. They have to have help. So that's what we're talking about, helping the agricultural sector, investing in the agricultural sector. But then we have a parliament and a government in Denmark, and they have decided that we, as the only country in the world, or almost, because then they also discuss it in New Zealand, they want to have a CO2 tax. They have a CO2 tax for the industry and the energy sector, but they also want to have a CO2 tax on the agricultural emissions. And there it's very difficult, because it's very difficult, as you also talked about, you are calculating the emissions, but you don't know the 100% precise emissions from the concrete staple or the specific area you're growing wheat or barley or other things. That's very difficult. So that's a big discussion in Denmark at the moment. That's the CO2 tax.
Yeah, I also heard about this, that it's really hard and pressuring to balance the environment and the economic viability, right? So how about in Thailand, Mr. Seksan? Do we have any discussions on the carbon tax, or what is the policies, the key policies that Thailand, since we have a goal to get to net zero in 2065, is there any kind of policies that in the discussion?
Okay, in Thailand, have the policy on carbon tax. Now it under consider by government how to. I'm not sure the number of the how much the cost of the effect on the producer, effect of cost for consumer is very important for the carbon tax in the Thailand. We have the try to have many scenario to study how to select the optimal condition, optimal price for the carbon tax in the Thailand. Yeah. The future, I'm not sure. Start on next within the 5 years. Either the carbon tax either clearly within the 5 years, next 5 years, either clearly for the carbon tax in the Thailand, I think.
And yeah.
May I ask, Seksan, because it's very interesting to hear that Thailand is also working on a carbon tax. Do you think that the carbon tax will only include CO2 from using fossil energy? Or will you also have a carbon tax, a CO2 tax on methane and nitrous oxide?
Now we in the Thailand we have many choice to estimate the carbon tax. Firstly, we can start from the normally the carbon dioxide from energy sector, and I think the next step we will start from other emission or the methane or the nitrous oxide. Depend on the government how to select the choice to the appropriate for the Thai society, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure in European either have the CBAM try to the carbon tax either CBAM. I'm not sure either consider or only carbon dioxide emission from the production of the aluminum or the steel products. I'm not sure.
We will have in Europe. It's decided that we want to have a CBAM, a tax,
tax
on what's going into the Europe when we are forcing our industries, the fertilizer industry, the steel industry, and other very heavy industries. We will force them to pay very, very high taxes. So therefore, the EU have decided to have a border tax. So when we import fertilizer from other countries, when we import steel from other countries, or products with steel, we will have a tax on it, because else we will not have a chance to continue having the fertilizer industry, the steel industry, etc. in Europe, because everything will be imported. So that's one of the challenges, because I think that you and I can agree that the most intelligent way would be to have the same regulation all over the world. And then we have some specific areas, as I could see your chart of emissions, that you have in fact the greatest emission that's from the rice paddies. If you came out with a tax on the farmers for the emissions on the fields with rice in Thailand, then in a couple of years there wouldn't be any rice production. All the rice would be imported, because there's so high emissions from the rice, and there's no tax on the rice emissions in other countries. So you would import it and stop producing good Thailand rice. That's how it works. That's why we are so worried about being the only country really looking at a very high CO2 tax on the greenhouse gases from the agricultural products.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion on this, how to stay competitive and the global standard as well, of since we are in the very different stage of development and all. But I think also in Thailand we are not only about the greenhouse gas, but also like we have a lot of discussions among PM 2.5 and the open burning in Thailand that we have. I'm not sure about how Denmark managed it, but it's a very, very big problems in Thailand. Can Kun Seksan talk a little bit on your thoughts and solutions to this, not only on policies level, but also in technology or innovation as well, that you see it might help accelerate this? Maybe Kun Seksan or Kun Niels also, you can.
I could start, because we many years ago we were allowed to burn the fields. I don't know how the wording is, but after we have harvested, we could use burning the fields. So we got rid of different diseases, pests, but that's not allowed any longer. You have to have a specific permit if you have some very specific growing some very specific seeds or something like that, where you have to have a very low weed pests index. So therefore it's not allowed any longer. We have to, and I think that's overall in the world, we have to, when we capture the CO2 from the atmosphere with the plants, then we have to try to use the carbon which we have captured with the CO2. We have to really have focus on it and keep it and use it in the best way. So instead of burning the straw in the fields, we have used the straw in the energy sector to produce energy. And in this way, we have pressed out the use of fossil to the energy sector. And in the future, we are not just looking in ordinary energy production, but we're looking in this pyrolysis. Can we use it to produce energy without a large CO2 emission, but in fact, instead of having a large CO2 capture? So that, but all of this costs a lot. We have the technologies, we're working with it every day, the different sectors in Denmark working together and try to find the good solutions.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. As you know, the PM 2.5 come from the many source, from the automobile, from the industrial sector, and the agriculture sector, very important for the consider the source, main cause of the air pollution from the PM 2.5 from the agriculture in Thailand. The most of one in the problem of the PM 2.5 burning in the Thailand is come from the tree crop in the Thailand. The first one in the sugarcane burning. The second one in the corn burning, and the third one in the rice burning in the field. In the major problem in the PM 2.5 in the Thailand. Normally in the it come from the from January to March every year. We have the problem of the PM 2.5 in the Thailand. Actually, in the northern part of Thailand, in Chiang Mai, in province, every problem in the PM 2.5. Yeah, in the main cause, it come from corn burning in mountain in Chiang Mai province. Also, for in the central area, in the central part, the main cause of the come from the burning of the rice straw in the field in the for the PM 2.5 in the central area of the Thailand, and other in the sugarcane for the central area or not eaten area. For the north part, I think mainly from corn and forest fire also produce PM 2.5 in the northern of the Thailand. We saw the problem in the Thailand. Thai government have implement the action plan to solve the problem, but it cannot stop PM 2.5 in the Thailand because the PM 2.5 produced within the country, and neighboring country also produce PM 2.5 from Myanmar, from Cambodia, from Laos, and then PM 2.5 transboundary from other country to the Thailand is a big problem. Also, the problem in the Thailand, he cannot manage the PM 2.5 by themselves by self in Thailand. There are many solutions, many organizations who propose how to manage the PM 2.5 in the Thailand. The first thing is try to create the awareness of the farmer, awareness for the community to awareness and to incorporate to reduce the burning of the agriculture in the fields also, and then we should be the processing the agricultural residue to the high value added products and try to find the market for the product. Also, I think I'm not sure in case of the European country how to manage agricultural residue from your country. In Thailand, there are many problems. We cannot manage the agricultural residue in the field and in the farm, and we cannot manage whole of the country. We can only some narrow area. We cannot whole country. We cannot management. We can manage only narrow area. Some province or some village they can manage. But whole country very difficult to manage the problem of the PM 2.5 or problem of the agricultural residue management.
But I fully agree with Sexton. it is a problem for a country like Thailand, where you have a very large amount of farmers. You have some very low income in the sector. If you just ask them to stop burning the straw from the rice paddy and other fields, etc., it's just an economic burden for them. They are not able to solve it alone. Therefore, it's so important that we continue to have focus on how can we find new technologies which not just can be used in Denmark, but also can be used in other countries and perhaps used in other countries with support. Two areas. I said the thing about the pyrolysis, which is very expensive at the moment. That's perhaps it's not an option tomorrow in your country, but the biogas. You can use the straw together with manure and other waste, because you also have, as I remember the figure, I think also food waste was mentioned. There's a lot of food waste. There's a lot of waste from biological productions, etc. So the biogas could be some kind of solution, because in Denmark there's still a bit support for the biogas sector, but it's being more and more efficient, and as we have with windmills, which are a good business case today, the biogas will be a good business case in a few years, and you can produce energy in this way. So we have to have exchange of technology. We have to have exchange of knowledge, and of course, and that's not the Danish Agriculture and Food Council which can do it, but we have, of course, also aid all over the world, or for some markets where we try to fund some projects with money. The UN funds a lot of projects. The EU funds a lot of projects. I remember the first slide you showed where you had the European flag. So we have to look at this, because some of the challenges are not just national, they are global. As you mentioned, yeah, we can do a lot in Thailand, and then we have the neighbors. And when we talk the climate, it's not just the neighbors, it's also the other side of the globe, because it's a global problem. So we have to have more close relations and help each other in developing the techniques and introducing the techniques, so you can reduce the burning of straw, etc., on your small farms. But it's a big challenge. I think one thing we have done in Denmark many years ago, in the meat sector and in the dairy sector and other sectors in agriculture, we have set up cooperatives, which is a very good solution to a lot of things. And perhaps that could be a theme for a discussion between Thailand and Denmark. I don't know if you have the good experience with cooperatives, but cooperatives are fantastic. You have a lot of farmers going into a cooperative. They decide how to deal with their products. The farmer knows when he have harvested the fields. He knows that the cooperative will buy and sell his products. A lot of other countries, the farmer often don't have a contract. He must go to the market. Sometimes he don't sell anything at the market. It's a big disaster, a lot of food waste. So we have to have focus on I think you should have focus, if you don't have it, on how can the cooperatives in the food sector, but also in the energy, the waste from agriculture, residues, side products from agriculture. How can cooperatives deal with this? And it could be owned by the farmers instead of owned by big companies which only have one interest, and that's giving back to the shareholders of the company. That was just a remark.
Yes, cooperatives in Thailand, maybe we also kind of have a สหกรณ์หรือเปล่าคะดร.เสกสรรไม่แน่ใจ Is it like in Thai context, do we have any kind of organizations like this? Maybe.
You don't have your mic.
Okay, sorry, you unmuted.
ดร.เสกสรรค่ะต้องเปิดไมค์นิดนึง
โอเคว่าไงนะครับ
Yes, we talked about the cooperative kind of like organizations that bring the farmers together. Maybe that could be like good fit context for Thailand as well. That can make more cooperation. But anyways, yes, I believe that in Thailand we also quite active on this field as well. But maybe we can give some case studies of Thailand a little bit more as rice is a Thai main exports product. But rice also causing more of like a half of greenhouse gas emissions in this sector. So also I heard some innovative case studies to mitigate and create more sustainable production for rice plantation, like global warming rice, ข้าวลดโลกร้อน Dr. Seksan, maybe that's kind of a cooperation between farmers as well. Could you share more upon these case studies?
Okay, I would like to share my slide.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, how to slide show. Okay.
Oh, wait. Here. Can you see?
Okay.
All right. Yes. This one.
Okay. I would like to introduce some case study in Thailand on the cassava, on the rice. As you know, the Thai have the grow the rice and export the rice in the world. In the number one in the world, the farmer the backbone of the nation, but the farmer also cause the global warming. The continue water logging and in live field either produce the methane emission in the live fields, the important the greenhouse gas in the live field. And now in Thailand have the innovate the technique or technology for the reduce greenhouse gas emission from the live field. Either name either alternative wetting and drying rice farming in the Thailand in the case study. In this based on the management practice in the irrigation area for the reduce water use, allow 30% to reduce waters and reduce greenhouse gas emission, allow half 50% compared to the old system. In this project, we in Thailand have the name the Thai rice nama in the Thailand. In the 5 years ago, the project in the start from the Thailand. This project have the 6 province implement this project in the Thailand. The almost in the settled area in the Thailand. In the China, in the Singapore, Ang Thong, Nakhon Sri Ayutthaya, Suphan Buri, and Pathum Thani province, in the 6 province in the participate in the projects. In the Thailand, in the produce paddy rice around 30 million ton per year, and also we produce greenhouse gas emission from the rice production around 26 or 27 million ton carbon dioxide emission equivalent per year. Normally, we have for produce 1 kilogram of rice, we use the water around 2,500 liter for the 1 kilogram of the rice. Now, in the Thailand, have the apply the alternative wet and dry technology for reduce greenhouse gas emission. In this part, we try to control the water level in the field. The alternative, we try to keep the water in the view 5 centimeter high level from the surface of the soil. Try to control the level of the water. You can see in the 5 Celsius to control the level of the water in the fields. And then we have the in this part we have tried to check the level of the water in the underground water. Try to the technology try to for the first 2 weeks after transplanting, we in the field we left and dry out and irrigate internal under the to 10 days for management. And then the second, when the water and level drop to 15 centimeter, and then we below the soil surface, irrigation should apply to the reflood again to control level to 5 centimeter. In this can reduce the methane emission released from growing of the rice. Actually, we need to other technology to combine for the wet and dry technology. The first one, we will apply the technology on the land laser leveling technology also, and then we apply the site-specific nutrient management to control the nutrient in the soil, and then we will use the storage and stable management for the free of burning for this area for the study from to reduce greenhouse gas emission. And then we alternative technology we have combined 4 technology. The first one is the alternative wet and dry technology, and the second is the land laser leveling technology, and then is the site-specific soil and nutrient management, and the fourth technology is the store and suitable management. We can manage the greenhouse gas emission and can reduce the greenhouse gas emission from this process. The benefit from innovation technology, the first one is can reduce water use, can reduce around 30%, and can reduce greenhouse gas emission around 50% compared to the conventional flooding cultivation. And then we can return in the term of the you can save money for the irrigation cost, and then we can get the carbon credit from carbon reduction from the rice field. We can get the money additional from carbon credit. We can sell carbon credit from methane reduction from this technology. Okay, the example to the rice field we interviews in farmer, yes, and get the data, some data to estimate the greenhouse gas emission again to confirm the data on comparing between before and after implement this technology. Yeah, I would like to share.
Okay, thank you very much, Kun Seksan. As you said that we are applying this on 6 experimental area, and also mentioned the technology that Thailand will need in order to scale this, like laser or the nutrient management. I wonder if we already have this technology or
yes. But in the narrow the target only 1 million hectare in 2030. Try to expand the area to implement in the Thailand.
And what
1
is the
million hectare.
challenge that Thailand would need in order to expand these
Yes.
kind of innovations, or also your work in data collections, and how could
Yes.
we can collaborate more with Denmark?
Yes. The farmer need to the technology for the laser for the monitoring the water level in the field. The farmer they need the technology. Now they not have technology, and the high cost of the technology for the laser for monitoring the water level. Now we use manual to we will see the water level every 2 day or every week. If we have a technology for laser, we can monitoring from by application from by the mobile phone in the smartphone. We can easily for the farmer in the next future. I think we can collaboration. I'm not sure technology in Denmark can help us to help the farmer for the reduce cost, or I'm not sure. We should share with you.
Would you like to add?
Just 2 comments. I don't know if we have any. As you know, we don't grow rice in Denmark, but we have a lot of focus on a lot of the peatlands, lands where we, under the 100 years ago, decided to, in fact, drain the areas. And when you drain the areas, you get another problem than with the rice production. You get dry soil with a lot of carbon in, and the carbon will be converted into CO2. So that's why we, in these very carbon-rich areas, which has been wet areas in the many years ago, we look how to re-wet them. And it's not a question of making lakes, but it's a question of having it wet 5-10 centimeters below the surface. Because if we make them with 10 centimeters of water on top, then we will have the same problem as in Thailand with the methane coming up. So we have some experience in the universities how to do this, how to manage the level of water in the soils, etc. I don't know a lot about the details, but it's a very important thing, and I think it's very interesting to hear all the experience you have in this area, or getting all the experience. You mentioned that in these areas where you manage controlling the water level in the fields, you get the same yield, you have lower cost because of less water for irrigation, you can sell the straw, and the third thing you mentioned, you can sell carbon credits. We have some few experience in the carbon credit market, but some of our big companies in the food industry have tried to do something special and selling credits, labeling, like you also had in your presentation, a lot of companies labeling about carbon footprint. But we have experienced in Denmark a lot of pressure from NGOs that we are greenwashing. They don't accept that we in fact do something lowering the emissions, storing carbon, etc., because we don't have any national approved figures for a lot of things. How is it this discussion going on in Thailand? Can you sell credits? Is there a market for it? Is it only a Thai market, or is it the international market you sell to? The carbon credits.
Yes. Now the carbon credit in Thailand for the domestic market in voluntary. Yes.
So companies are interested in buying carbon credits from agriculture.
Yes. In domestic only. Now we don't not have an international market. No. Yeah.
And the consumers are the ones in the end who's going to pay for it. Is the consumers, when you're going out in the supermarket this afternoon, buying a lot of things for the household, do you as a consumer and all your other consumers in the supermarket, do you really want to pay more for a product which is labeled with a lower footprint? Because the Danish, and we have rather high incomes, but the Danes, if they see that it's labeled, this is with a low carbon footprint, a lot of the consumers think, oh, that must be expensive, better buy something of the other products in the store.
Oh, in Thailand, it's the same price. I think the carbon footprint product is the same price with the no carbon footprint.
Same price?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a premium. I'm not sure. In European, it's a premium.
Yeah, because if you want to have a product where you say this is carbon neutral, we have bought a lot of carbon credits to make it neutral. It costs extra for the company. So if they want to go on the market, they want to have a higher price. Else they will not have the same business case as the company which don't have focus on this.
Okay.
Do you have any controls in the stores? You said that hundreds or thousands of products had a label carbon footprint. Is there any national control of how to calculate every step in the process from the field, for example, if you buy something with rice in the supermarket?
Yes. In Thailand, they have the label in controlled by the Thailand Greenhouse Gas Management to the control in the overall the process. They have the certified body in Thailand to approve the data, how to calculate, how to approve, and TIIS for my organization is produce the greenhouse gas emission factor who support the TNIU greenhouse gas management for eco labeling in Thailand as well.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So you would say that now in Thailand is the eco labeling covered how many percent or like
limited, not famous in Thailand. Actually, the almost in the big company to register the product. But also the company in the Thailand set public company in the public company also either register the carbon footprint of the product and carbon footprint of the organization.
Yeah, I think thank you very much. I think it's very interesting discussions going on. But since I see the time, we almost have to wrap up this session. To just summarize or have a concrete maybe the next step or something. Mr. Jaya, I think he proposed some question that I think you already mentioned a little bit, but how do you see in which aspect that in STDA and the Danish agriculture, the AFC, can have a potential to explore the collaboration? You think in which area is the most interesting or potentially?
I think that there's if I should start, there's a large difference when we look at the arable crops. That's a very large difference between the arable crops in Denmark and Thailand. But if we go to the milk and meat production, there we have the same animals, we have the same way of feeding, we have the same way of handling manure in the stable and in the storage of the manure, perhaps also in the fields. I really think that we in this area we have some technologies, we have the genes, we have the ways in every dairy in Thailand. The measurement of the milk coming in is measured by a Danish company controlling the system and not by anything else, because 90% of all milk in the world is going through this Danish equipment. So we have a lot of things in the area of the milk and meat area, and a lot could also be done in the energy. I think that cooperation. I don't know if biogas is an issue, a great issue in Thailand, but biogas could go in and solve some of the problems. So also in the biogas area, there could be good cooperation in the future. And as I don't know if I said it today, but I said it earlier before we started the meeting here, all of us, I said that there's a delegation of Danish businesses, 10 or 11 businesses, which are visiting Thailand in these days, talking about the red Danish cow, which was a story many years ago. But we have cooperation, and we want to continue cooperation in a lot of different areas. Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to add.
Yeah, please. Okay. In my side from NASDA, we can collaborate in in the Denmark to together to collaboration on the research. We have not only a greenhouse gas assessment, we have another laboratory to conduct on energy technology, or conduct on the biogas, or conduct on animal feed. We have NASDA have the many laboratory to can collaborate in Denmark. We have the future. We can negotiate to collaboration in the future. I think.
Okay, thank you very much. Many opportunities, many technologies out there as well, and inspirations for today. We also have several questions from the audiences, but I believe that we go through already, and maybe we will wrap up more and send to both of you after this. Yes, please also to the audience, kindly fill our feedback form to let us know if you have any suggestion for the next session as well, and the topics that you are interested in to discover more in the future. And finally, thank you, the Royal Thai Embassy in Copenhagen, and both speakers and audiences for your interest and time. I hope that this session is really intensive, and looking forward to meeting you and seeing the collaboration in the future. ทักษุมิเกะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much ค่ะ
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
audience.
Okay. And
Okay.